What is good, guys? Sacoz back at it with another tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to run down how I did this exact web design that may not seem so easy, but it's actually really easy. It's not complicated at all. It took just a few layers, as you see here, and I'm gonna run down why I used it, and I'm gonna focus on the skills I used as in every single one of my tutorials. So if you want to learn more about how to do this web design, maybe you can post this on your Instagram, on your portfolio or something. But please remember not to copy me. I do this for you to learn how I did it rather than you copying me. So without anything else to say, let's just get right into it. Alright, so let me hide this group and let's start with a fresh new layer. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I did find like an actual photo of a zoo, like an aerial photo of a zoo, and then I added a black color overlay and then put the opacity all the way down, not all the way, but like so it's dark, and then I added a light at the top so it looks kind of good. And some people say that you cannot add like effects to the pictures on web design, and I would say do not add like freaking vignettes and like high pass and stuff, because the programmer that you're giving this to will not be able to put that in. But if with the PSD, with the JPEG, however you want to send it, you send this to, the programmer can just do the exact same thing, and that's the programmer's job. As a web designer, a hidden job is to make the programmer's job easier. So if you send every single thing here, for example, if you send this and this, then you will be able to make the programmer's life a lot easier. So I have this. So what I did is just went into Google and put zoo aerial photo, and then I put a black overlay, as I said, and then put a light at the top. And what I did is click on them all and then press Command E to merge it, so I can just send this, export this, and then send it to them. So the next thing I did is to add this giraffe stuff, and what I did for this is that I went ahead and put giraffe PNG on Google. I'm sorry if I'm not explaining all of this. I don't want you to copy me, and I'm getting kind of fast here, but that's how I did it. I went and I put giraffe PNG, and this was one of the first ones to come up. If you put tools, color, transparent, these are the main ones to come up. So once you have done this, I'm expect that you have some knowledge in web design and Photoshop. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to type the word zoo. Of course, here you will type your name, like the name of the company you're working for. Let me just align this real quick. So it's perfect. There you go, okay. So, as you can see, I put zoo, and I did zoo for the logo too, but of course you will make the logo if you're in charge of that, or they will send you their logo already, and the highest quality is, the better. Alright, so now we're gonna type out the word zoo. We have all of this already. We're gonna type out the word zoo, all in capitals. The font I used is Nexa Bold, because I really like how clean this font is, and I've used it a lot in my branding. If you don't see it, there's some text in my profile picture and banner. There is no text, but when I do have to write something out, I usually use Nexa or Vulgria, depends on the text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this effect right here. That's like one part is behind and one part is up. And if you don't know how to do this already, it's actually pretty easy. I'm gonna tell you what to do. So what you want to do is you're gonna make this layer above it. So just decide which layer you want up and which layer you want down. So in this case, I put the top up and the bottom down. So what I did is to put this right here, Command J, duplicate it, move it up right there. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna press Command or Control and then hold where it says T on the zoo layer. And then right here, press the layer mask icon. Once that is done, you will find out that there's a little white stuff, but that's not important right now. What you want to do now is you want to keep the part you want on top. So like this, we want this on top, but we want this to actually go in the bottom. So if you don't know how layer masks work already, the white is shown and black is hidden. So what we need to do in this case is we need to grab our brush way smaller, probably like a 33 pixels, I'll say. Yeah. And now what you need to do is move this from white to black, and you can do that but just by pressing X. And once you're done with that, just paint over what you want beneath. Right over there. And make sure it's all painted so it's not like weird effects. And once you're done with that, you can see that we have met the result we wanted. We actually met the O that some part is behind and some part is up. So what I'm gonna do now, and you can see that this looks very weird, but that's not important right now. We are going to eliminate this white things. So to do that, we're gonna do the same with black hitting, and we're just gonna paint over this until the white doesn't show anymore. And once you're done with that, the white effect will be gone. And this is basically a little outline. Photoshop always had like an outline of 1 pixel or something for no apparent reason. So when you do this method, there's still a line of the O that you need to, you know, cut out because it's really disturbing. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I did add a pattern overlay on the image. You can do that as well. I just like that minimal effect, but it's really not important. So if we hide all of this, let me just put this in a group so I can hide it more easily. So if we pull all of this, there's one extra change, and is that this O is yellow. So what I did is I go to my favorite color palette website that it's called, let's open Google real quick. I thought I had it open. It's called Flat UI Color. So what you need to do is just put flyuicolors.com, flyuicolors.com. Let's full screen this. And I think I got it from this one maybe. And then the way this works is that you click on copy or anywhere on the box, and it will copy the hex code to your clipboard. So all you have to do is paste it on the color palette, and there are several. This is the Flat UI template, and then palette, sorry, and then there's the American palette, the Canadian palette, the British palette. So if you are making, I don't know, for like Starbucks, let's say, Starbucks is pretty American, so you may want to use the American palette. If you're doing it for an Indian restaurant, you may want to use the Indian palette. So it's just flat. So like if it's just an example without anything like behind the colors, I always just use the Flat UI Colors palette, the default palette. So I'm gonna click here in Sunflower because I really like this color. And then remember, this text a text layer. Do not rasterize this layer. Do not change this layer because it's okay as it is. Just select this. Select only the O that you want to change. Go here in color, and if you don't have this, then just go to window and go to properties. These are the only ones I have open, but there's several workspaces, and I'm in the graphic and web, so I recommend to do that if you are designing for web design and graphic design. But if you're doing for photography or animation or painting or 3D, or you're just using Photoshop for fun, just use essentials. But I do use graphic and web. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna select this with the text tool. If you wonder why I did that, it's the T. So just select that, and then you should have, if you just press Command or Control V, you should have the hex code already put in. And just to, yes, that's the same color. So this looks pretty flat right now. This doesn't look like a website. Mostly because it doesn't have the nav bar and all the functionalities of a website. Functionalities versus what actually looks good, they're two different things. One thing can look good, but it's not functional. That's why UI and UX are interconnected, because the UI has to have the user interface, and then a UX designer has to put it around so that the user experience is right on point. I really like more UI side, but I do some work on UX. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check this and check that everything's put together, and then we'll see that the logo is just Sue. Of course, if you're working for a company, they will have the logo yourself, or if you're doing this for yourself, you may have a logo. If you don't have a logo, and if you're a designer, I will highly recommend you to like design one. I was gonna say get one, but like you're a designer, so why would you get a logo done by another designer? So you would have your logo here. Like I could add my logo, it just wouldn't fit, so I just added Sue in like a, you know, lowercase and then a dot. And sadly, this are like sometimes all what logos are, and I'm okay with it, but some people just prefer more stuff added into it. I'm not gonna go too into that, but I'm just gonna hide this, and then just with the text layer, with the text tool, sorry, just put Sue in all lowercase and add a dot, and I just think it looks good with the same color we use. So just go here again and copy it, and it's always there, so you don't have to like go to another website or like copy it, hex code and stuff. You can just copy it right over there and it's copied. And we can go here in properties if you already have this, and then just copy this, and it will be the exact same color as the O that's surrounding the whole thing. So now that you have the Sue there, this will also be your homepage, so you can design it. If you're giving this to a programmer, I'll recommend for you to design it, you know, and when it's hovering, you have a color overlay of white, so when it's hovering, you hover that, and then when it's this amount of pixels at the right, it goes 50, and then if it's this amount of pixels, it goes to 25 and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. I made one other video about how to give a web design to a programmer, but in this case, I'm just gonna keep that like that. So this bar, many people do it in many different ways. Many people do one by one, and then they measure exactly how it is and then just keep it like that. But I like to do it all in one piece of text. The way we do that is just pressing T again and just to start writing. So shop was the first one, I think, and then I use tabs. So 1, 2, 3 tabs is what I do, and then let's see what I put. Shop, location, book a visit. Okay, shop 1, 2, 3, location 1, 2, 3, book a visit. Let's just put this over here. What else did I put? And then I put adopt an animal and online gallery. 1, 2, 3, adopt an animal, and then 1, 2, 3, online gallery. How I did that is just by using the tab in Mac. I don't know what it's the relatable in Windows. When I'm editing this video, I'm gonna put that right in the screen right now. So that's the equivalent of tab. So that's what you gotta do. And then I put it in white because I think it's a good contrast to have 1 and 1. So it's not always the exact same color. It changes the color while it goes. So what I'm gonna do now is I don't like to add icons that much unless I'm working in a footer, but if it's just a landing page like this, just general, I always like to add ins, FB, and TW, which means Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if people click that, it actually goes through their social media. So what I'm gonna do is duplicate this text, this exact text, and then follow the same rules. So in Instagram, many people use IG, but some people use IG for like a short of I guess in text. So I just like to use ins, and then 1, 2, 3, of course, and then FB for Facebook, 1, 2, 3, TW for Twitter. Once you have that, just put it up there. And I don't like to have auto select on, because when I'm working with PNGs and stuff, it may select other things that I may not want selected. So I just keep that off. And then I just give this the exact same color I give this. So I think it makes a good contrast. I really like this design. As you can see, it takes a little layers, and of course you need to repeat this with shop, location, book a visit, and stuff. But as you can see, it looks pretty neat. I really like this design. I got inspired by a dog store that had the word pug, and then it had the pug, and it kind of had this exact effect. It was a different color palette and stuff, but I actually really got inspired, and I wanted to do something like this for you guys. So remember, always follow Instagram accounts or YouTube or YouTubers that post speed art, so you can always get inspired. Most of my work is when I see something, I get inspired by it, and I try doing something not similar to that, but something along the lines. So if I see, for example, in a app design with a gradients I really like, I try to get two colors that go together and not use the exact same colors. Two colors that go together, and I try to match that gradient, for example, in the shape it goes, in the direction, in the angle it goes, and then I always try to make it look good, and that's mostly what you see on my Instagram mostly every day. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, then make sure to do so at SacozYT, and on Twitter, I post on Twitter occasionally, and I know it was the other way around, but I'm starting to see how it actually affects on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure I want to grow a following on Instagram that's related to design, so I'm starting to post there more often. So just, yeah, I'm probably gonna post this on Instagram. So if you wanna check that out, just check the link in the description, SacozYT, and you know, that's been all. It's been Sacoz here. I hope you enjoyed this web design, and I'm getting more into web design, so expect more videos of that coming, and I'm out. Peace.